Welcome back to Pre-Algebra with Miss Betsy. I'm glad that you're still sticking in here with your schoolwork. I guess probably for many of you, you have no choice about the matter, but nonetheless, I'm glad you're still here. Today we're going to be talking about how we estimate products and quotients. And if you're using the same text I am, I'm using Pre-Algebra for Christian Schools. It's published by Bob Jones University Press, and I'm using the first edition. It's not compatible with the second edition. Covering the same material, but the sections and the chapters are in totally different orders. If you are using the text that I am, it's in section 2.8 entitled Estimating Products and Quotients, and I'll be on page 63 after we pray, and I have a lame joke. So, lame joke first. What do you get when you cross a rooster and a duck? You get a bird that gets up at the quack of dawn. So there's your lame joke for the day, and let's go ahead and pray and then we'll get started. God, you are good, and I thank you that you created us with a sense of humor and with various different ways of enjoying the world that you've created around us. Father, I ask that you would help us to study diligently to learn those things that you would have us to learn today, and I thank you that you love us. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, and I flipped my notes way back so far that I'm going to have to keep flipping until I figure out where we're at, because believe it or not, I do go through the material to get some sort of an idea of how I want to present this to you. Okay. Estimating products. What are products? Products are the answer to a multiplication product, to a multiplication question. You have factors which are just the numbers that you multiply together. 4 times 8 is 32. That's an easy thing, but sometimes what we're going to want to do is approximate an answer. And we have a rule for what we're going to do when we do that. So what do we do if we want to approximate products? How do we come up with a guesstimate for what the answer is to a multiplication problem? Very easy. We round each factor. Those are the numbers that we multiply together. Round each factor to its highest place value. Just as simple as can be to estimate. So if we have example 1a on our page 60, page 63, if we have x is equal to 942 times 78, and we want to know approximately what is that going to be equal to. So we have, instead of the straight equal sign, we have these little squiggle bars, and that means we're coming up with an approximation. We're going to round each factor to its highest place value. 942, we will round to the nearest hundred, so we have 900 times, then we have 78 to its nearest 10. 78 rounds to 80. Now, if you remember how to multiply when you have extra zeros added on here, multiply the digits together, the non-zero digits together. X is approximately equal to 9 times 8 is 72. Then how many zeros do I have? 1, 2, 3. 7,200. So the approximate result of 942 times 78, that equals approximately 72,000. And if you don't believe that you can just catch the zeros, count the zeros. 900 times 80, 0, 0, 0, 7,200. 72,000. Have I been calling that 7,200? I don't remember, but 72,000. 900 times 80, 0, 0, 0. We're going to move on over another 0, 0, 0, 72. Or punch it into a calculator. So when you are approximating products, it's dead simple to do that. You round so that you only have one digit that is not 0. Multiply those digits together, the 9 and the 8, count up your zeros, and you have your approximate answer to a product. But now, what are we going to do if we want to approximate a quotient? Well, first off, what is a quotient? It's a weird sounding word, a little bit strange to spell, but a quotient is simply the answer to a division problem. So what we're going to do here is we are going to, I copied my notes wrong here. I want to see exactly what word they're using. We want to just round the numbers. When we're estimating, when we're approximating a quotient, we're just going to round each number so there are no remainders. And I'll show you what I mean. Round each number, which is the dividend and the divisor. The dividend is the number, is the big number you start with. The divisor is how many groups you're cutting that number up into. The quotient is the answer to a division problem. Round each number as necessary so there is no remainder. We have 32 divided by 8. That's a simple math fact, isn't it? 32 divided by 8 is 4. There isn't any remainder. But what if we have example 1b, which says y is equal to 1492 divided by 28. Okay, we want to come up with a good estimate for what this is, and it may take you a while to figure out how to make this work, and don't get all bent out of shape if you have difficulty finding it. This is not, moms and dads, this is not a hill to die on. This is an interesting, helpful, useful tool to have, but it's not foundational if your kids have a difficult time with it. We're going to automatically round that 28 to a 30, but we're looking for a number over here, the 1400, that when we divide, we don't have a remainder. 1492, we could round down to 1,000, but since that's right there in the middle, it's not going to give us a good close estimate. But if we just round to the nearest hundred, this becomes 1,500 divided by 30. And right here, these numbers are rounded as necessary, so there's not going to be a remainder, because you can take 15 divided by 3, can't you? 15 divided by 3 is 5. Y here is going to be 50. The more you practice with multiplication and division of numbers that end in 0, the easier it is for you to see what's going on. But if you don't see this, that 1,500 divided by 30 is 50, write this as a rational expression, 1500 divided by 30. Remember, you can cancel a factor of 10, you can cancel your zeros. 150 divided by 3 is 50, or 3 goes into 15 5 times, and you have your 0. But this is what we've done to come up with an estimated quotient, estimated answer to this division problem of 50. Right here, I should have changed these equals to the approximately equal sign. Y is approximately equal to 50. What we've done is we've changed these numbers, we've rounded them so that when we do our division, we can do our division with no remainders left over. So that's one way that we're going to approximate quotients and products. Now let's go ahead and look at example 2 and see some more practice. This is more division. This is example 2a, and it says, estimate the value of the variable by rounding. Choose a compatible number. And what they want you to do here, when they're asking you to choose a compatible number, is to simply be able to manipulate the number in the dividend and in the divisor, like we had 1500 and 30, so that when you divide one by the other, you don't have any remainder left over. Let's look at this one. This says W is equal to 264 divided by 9. And in all honesty, these problems are going to be easiest for those of you who have a good instant grasp reminder in your head of all of your multiplication facts. If you don't have your multiplication tables down where you can do them just like this section will be more difficult for you. What if you're really quick with your multiplication facts, you can look at that 9 and you can say, oh, I know that 3 times 9 is 27. So I'm going to go ahead and round this number here to 270. But let's say you didn't know that. And you remembered that the last time we just rounded not to the highest place, but one place down. So if we rounded 264 to the nearest 10, we would be at 260. We're not going to touch this 9. It's not going to help us to round up to 10. So we're just going to keep it right there at 9. Can you take 26 divided by 9? No. 4 times 9 is 36. But there's no multiplication fact that involves 9 where you get 26. But you can think, okay, 1 times 9 is 9, 2 times 9 is 18, 3 times 9 is 27. So if instead of 260, we round this to 270 divided by 9, then we come up with the solution here that tells us W is approximately equal to 30. Again, do your division, turn your division problem into a rational expression. 9 goes into 27 3 times. You've got a 3 and a 0 left. So 270 divided by 9 is 30. And I'm sorry, I don't have a better way to, a formula to give you where you can say, always do this, always round up, always round down. You see, sometimes when you're rounding, you've got those specific rules. It says round to the nearest 100, round to the nearest 1,000. Here it's saying play around with the numbers as you need to so that you can get a general idea of the answer that you're looking for. And for all of my people who are very precise out there, or they might describe themselves as rule followers, I can't give you good rules for this. You have to play with them until the numbers work. Example 2b says z is equal to 1,149 divided by 32, I think. No, divided by 34. It's going to come up with the same approximation. Once again, we're looking for numbers so that when we divide them, we don't have any remainders. And it's usually pick a compatible number for the divisor. The divisor is what you're dividing by. It's the number that comes after the division sign. Here, let's just round down to the nearest 10. So z is going to be approximately equal to 1,149 divided by 30. How do we want to round this and stay close? Well, if we round it to 1,100 divided by 30, can you take 11 divided by 3 evenly? No. What about if we just round it to the nearest 1,000? Can you divide 1 by 3 evenly? No. Well, 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 2 is 3, times 3 is 9, times 4 is 12. What if instead of rounding to 1100 or to 1000, we rounded z up? Now here we're breaking that rule because officially according to our rule, that's below 50, so that's 50 or below, so we'd round down. But we're making the numbers work. You have to learn to play with things when you're approximating. And if we make this 1200 divided by 3, then we have, by 30, then we have a very easy way to divide. 12 divided by 3 is 4. 100 divided by 10 is 10. So again, that's mental math and an understanding of when you have zeros at the end of your numbers. If you can't do what I did, that's just fine. 1200 divided by 30. You cancel your 10s. And you don't need to write this step, but let me just do that. 1200 divided by 30, when you divide by 10, you have 120 over 12. 3 divided by 3 times 4 is 12. In your numerator, you have a 4 and a 0. So x is approximately, or z, I guess is what we called this one, z is approximately equal to 40. You just have to play with the numbers. And I realize I probably said that 15, well, not 15, but I'm sure I've said it 4 or 5 times. You have to play with the numbers until you get numbers that fit together. It's like putting a jigsaw puzzle together. You don't always grab the right piece the right time, or you have to maneuver them around to make them fit. What I'd like to do now is look at our skill check. We have a skill check again in this section. The first 4 problems say, compute the products and quotients mentally. 30 times 70. 540 divided by 60. Then we have 60 times 500. And we have 3200 divided by 400. And these, they want you to just totally work them in your head. 30 times 70. 3 times 7 is 21. You have those extra zeros. 30 times 70 is 2100. 540 divided by 60. It's a math fact that they expect you to know that 54 divided by 6, 6 times 9 is 54. You've got those zeros that cancel out. You can multiply back in your head. 9 times 60 is equal to 54. So that's your answer to problem number 3. What about our problem 2 up here? Got those out of order. I have 60 times 500. They want you to do it in your head again. 6 times 5 is 30. How many zeros do you have to add on there? 1, 2, 3. 60 times 500 is 30,000. You can think, and that makes sense because 500 takes 2 of those to make 1,000. Half of 60 is 30,000. 3,200 divided by 400. Again, they want you to do this mentally. 32 divided by 4, that's a math fact. That gives you 8. You have 2 zeros, but on both the dividend and the divisor, your answer is simply 8. Check it. 8 times 4 is 3,200. I know of no way to teach this to you. This is practice with mental arithmetic and knowing your multiplication facts. Now, however, with problems 5, 6, 7, and 8, here this says estimate the value of the variable by rounding. Estimate by rounding. And we have problem number 5. 31 times 78 is equal to x. What did we say we needed to do if we were going to estimate a product? We were going to round each of those factors to the largest place value. 31 rounds to 30, 78 rounds to 80. Now we have 3 times 8 is 24, and the extra 2 zeros. 30 times 80 is approximately the value of x. So that's what you would do with number 5. Problem number 6 was another multiplication. 654 times 83, and that was what y was going to be. They want to know approximately what y is equal to. We're going to round each of these to the highest place value. So we have y is approximately equal to 700 times 80. What does 7 times 8 equal? It's 56. You have 3 extra zeros. 700 times 80 is 5,600, which is approximately equal to the product of 654 times 83. Then you have 2 division problems that they want you to estimate. Number 7 says 273 divided by 7. That's what our variable a is approximately equal to. We're not going to adjust the divisor at all. We're going to keep that 7 just exactly the same. We want to round 273 so that we don't have anything left over. So think of your multiplication facts for 7. 2 times 7 is 14. 3 times 7 is 21, which is not close to 27. 4 times 7 is 28. So we're going to round 273 to 280 because then you can divide evenly. What's 28 divided by 7? It's 4. So 280 divided by 7 is 40, and that is the approximate value of 273 divided by 7. Okay, number 8 in our skill check says that P, this is number 8, P is equal to 1,842 divided by 64. And you're already thinking, how can I adjust my dividend and adjust my divisor so when I divide those two numbers, I end up with a quotient that doesn't have any remainder in it. What about this 6 and 18? 3 times 6 is 18, right? So we say that P is approximately equal to 1,800 divided by 60, and then we come up with a good approximation. 18 divided by 6 is 3. That's 100 divided by 10 is 10. 1,800 divided by 60. Go ahead and write it out as a ratio if you need to. 1,800 divided by 60. One of your 10s cancel. You now have 180 divided by 6. The 6 can go into 180, and you have 30. Okay? Let's go ahead and look at the last 2 examples in the skill check. And these are the ones where they ask you to choose a compatible divisor. This is where you're really just playing around with those numbers until you get a combination that fits properly. So let's look at example 9, or problem 9. This one says, I thought we already did this one. We did one very similar to this. 273. I know we did it. Anyway, 273 divided by 7 is equal to A. You know what? I know what I did. My eyes skipped. We said that this one was 280 divided by 7. And that was going to be 40. I just said that. I think I said that this was problem number 7. It's not. It's problem 9. Problem number 7 was, and that's the disadvantage of doing a video, because you guys would have told me, said, no, that's problem number 9, that's not problem 7. 7 said n is equal to 212 divided by 67. And here I'm thinking that I'm going to go ahead and round the 67 to 70, because 3 times 7 is 21. So I'm going to round 212 to 210. And I'm going to divide that by 70, because 3 times 7 is 21. 210 divided by 70 is 3. That's approximately what we get here. N is approximately equal to 3. So now we've done both problem 7 and 9. We have one left to do on the skill check, which is problem number 10. Problem number 10, 441 divided by 89 is equal to B. We want to choose a compatible divisor. We're going to round that into something that divides evenly into whatever we round 441. So this is a 90, or a 9. 9 times what? It's going to get us close to 44. Well, 9 times 4 is 36. 9 times 5 is 45. We're going to round 441 to 450. Divide that by 90 and stick my variable right back in there instead of me already having the answer there, is B. And we're going to say that's approximately what our variable B represents here. 450 divided by 9. 9 times 5 is 45. 5 is the approximate value of B. And you multiply back to check that. 5 times 90. 5 times 9 is 45 with a 0. So 5 times 90 is 450. This is what they want you to be working on with this section as you're estimating products and quotients. Do the best you can. If you get stuck, text me or ask me a question in class on Friday. I'll see you next time.